right, welcome to the Real Talk Football TV Premier League debate show. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tobias, we'll go myself, Shaq. All right. Like I said before, biggest game, supposed to be the biggest game of the Premier League. Two of the biggest clubs, most decorated club, most trophies, rare tear. I've been watching football for a long time, and I'm thinking about when Man United used to dominate, when they used to have great players, Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez, Stam, Vidic, Rio, Van der Sar, you can go on and on and on. When Liverpool were kind of like the little brothers of the big team, where we might give you a nosebleed, but Man United have always been better. But now roles have reversed. I'm trying to think, since I've been watching the Premier League, is there been a massive gap like how it is now compared to the two sides? Like, you've had great players, but we always gave you a good game. You never can come to Anfield and thought this will be easy work. Where if you look at the metrics of where Man United are, it's been 8 years since you've beaten Liverpool at Anfield. I think it's 8 seasons since you've scored a goal at Anfield. I look at you lot now. I think you've conceded
more. True stats, yeah?
They're true stats, bruv. In the Premier League, you haven't 8 seasons. You haven't scored at Anfield. They were talking about. I think you haven't you've scored less goals or conceded more goals than Everton, scored less goals than Wolves. Your top goal scorer is on 4, who's not playing. It is real peak for Man United. Man United are 14th, never been in this position since the Premier League era. Lost 4 out of your 5 since you beat Man City. Got destroyed against Newcastle for 30 minutes. Could have been anything. I'm just trying to think. It's been as bad as it's ever been in living history, even living memory.
In recent
history for Man United, because it's peak right now. It's mad.
First question, the only time I remember it being this bad for you is when Hodgson first got there, and he was talking about starving off relegation. Obviously, with the relegation talk that Amrin's putting in right now, you can draw comparisons there. You can talk about historically in the recent Premier League years being the most dominant factually. But that's irrelevant. You guys had your time at that point, and now we're 10 years in, and within them 10 years, we've officially been any guys in the Premier League. So how long does that recent history last? Like, I'm not one to sort of go back and sort of reminisce. It's all about in the here and now. Short term, isn't it? Everything's short term now. So it's all about now. And right now, what you said there regarding the stats just show the character, the leadership, what's going on at Man United. That just sums us up in a nutshell. Because there's no way you lot, at least back in the day when you lot were terrible, and you lot were, don't get me wrong, you lot were dead back in the day. So that's the only history I will draw upon and enjoy in terms there. But yeah, I
go on. Sorry.
I think what do you think that? So yeah, that just shows in terms of we got no cojones in that team. Like you always used to show up, being our biggest rival. Like how much the game means to the fans, and should do the players. It just shows that these guys aren't up for no fight, and haven't been. So if they can't stand up to our biggest rivals, then how are they going to stand up to anyone? You know, like
100%. I agree. There is no. Go on.
I've questioned the leadership in that team for a while. And it's no more apparent now. It's just like we've had the worst captains, I think, in my time in watching Man United within that period.
Like, but I think you've got a lot of things wrong. Just forget the captains. I think the way the clubs run. I know Ferguson and David Gill ran basically the whole operation, and you got the commanders, the lieutenants, both left at the same time. But I remember telling you, I know we're going to go back to this. I remember I saying It'll
I knew,
be
you know what?
minimum.
As soon as I
Uh,
saw I knew this quote was going to come up. I've been thinking about it recently as well.
minimum 10 years before you would win a title, and you laughed at me. That's the laugh you gave. I said, I'm telling you, it's going to take you minimum 10 years to
Ah,
win a title, and you laughed at me.
yeah,
And
B.
I've said it. I think your club has been arrogant in the sense of they thought they could just throw money at it, and you lot will be okay. And you've wasted so much money over the 10-year period. And you look at the squad you've got now, it's mad. It is mad. Like, it's got to a point where our WhatsApp group's not even that popping off because we expect you lot to lose anyway. It's that bad. I'm not even texting you to banter you because I knew the Newcastle game. I knew you lost already.
I think everyone knew. I think even this game here is like it's like pointless talking about it because even the title says, "Well, how many goals will you win?" Man, I think it's come to that. It's like no one has any belief in or around us. Like you mentioned it off screen about how toxic everyone is. Like the toxicity is heightening at. I
It's
think it's
mad.
over
It's
what
like
Arsenal want
Arsenal. Yeah.
because these men are hammering their own players. Like Agate within a couple of games was getting nicknames, and like we all seen what's going on with Xerxes. I'm not even gonna have that conversation with you about Xerxes because I know what your standard
No,
is.
no, no, no,
Right?
no,
I
no,
don't
no.
want to hear it. And
No,
right
no,
now,
no,
you
no, no,
think I'm
no,
gonna end
no.
up
For
throwing that
Xerxes, no. I
stuff.
understand where you're coming from. On the heat of it, I said he deserved to come off, but it feels to me it's bad that he's been the fall guy for some reason, and
But
they've
what
all been crap.
the
They've all
problem?
been crap.
The problem is with that one. Yeah, well, Ericsson could have come off at the same. Anyone could have come off.
Anyone.
Let's be honest. Anyone could have come off. This is just there's so many issues from the recruitment, from everything that's ongoing, not just now, but throughout that 10-year period. So it's all just been a mess, and now it's the chickens come home to roost. Isn't it? Like this is what it is. This is where we are. We got to accept it. Like I think, like initially, if we would have had this podcast, luckily I've been moving and had no internet. But if we would have had this past podcast a couple of weeks ago, I've been talking a lot more about Amarin. Not in terms of anything about he's got to go or anything like that. Just the concerns I had before he come in. I had
But even,
concerns him coming in and playing
but
his
Tobias,
role.
we could touch on Amarim. Like you could touch on Amarim. Does if he keeps on losing? I know you can't talk about Sato. It's not his players, but he can't keep losing like how he's losing. He can't just
Um,
keep going and just taking L's.
but
There has to be some sort of you can take L's, but they're taking L's where, to me, I know there's a completely different system, but it's looking worse than Ten Hag. The L's he's taking. That's what's mad. It looks
that's another
worse.
thing. That's another thing that I'm not going to get into because we've had the league was going, and we know how Chelsea were in a title challenge for a couple of weeks. I'm not saying Ten Hag would have been anywhere like that way inclined, but the gap wasn't as drastic as
Now.
what the league position made it look at the time. Yes, he deserved to go. Yes, I get it all. So I'm not going to start that conversation. If we touch on the Amarin thing, my concerns initially was Amarin can't be naive enough to come in and try to implement his system straight away because we don't have the players to do it. So from a short term, as a fan, at the minute you're looking at short term, we like the short term element. You know, we're not really looking long term because you want short term fixes. And you want short term, you want it, and that's what Ten Hag struggled with because he's come in, started implementing a certain style, and then diverted away from what his true beliefs were because he realized that results matter. So he's going to do anything to get over the line. Let's forget about the transfers and all that. Initially, in terms of how he ended up being, it become a results business, and I will do what it takes to win. And sometimes it works. Cups it works. If he had these league seasons opposite way around, it might not have been ended how it did or when it did. But that's irrespective of where we are now. Amorim has come in. He's implemented his style immediately, which, in fairness, like I have to give him props to it. I have to give him props for going through the batterings and staying proud with the style. But as we know, top managers, good managers, managers in themselves never admit when they're wrong. There's no way now he can divert away from what he's trying to do. So it's whether we're flirting with relegation or whether we will get relegated, that's irrespective, because you look at it and confidence is crazy. Like you look at Man City and how they had how confidence have hit such like such a great team. So, or Father Time, whichever one you want to pick, you can. It's open to debate. But for us, you look at it and you're thinking, where's the next result coming from? That's how bad it is. Like, so, but he can't divert from what he's doing now. He's gone there. If he does, he admits defeat. If he does, the players have a mini win. If he does, we're back to square one. So
I think it's a crucial couple of weeks. He's got Liverpool away and he's got Arsenal in the FA Cup. Everybody expect them to lose both games, but I think he has to show some sort of, the team has to show some sort of fight and get a respectable. They might take 2 L's, but they might have to be respectable in the sense that they haven't laid down and got battered. I think he has to show something. I think if he gets smashed in these 2 games, I think he's under pressure, because I know how Ineos are, because they sacked my man after 5 months. So if he doesn't get any sort of the team doesn't show any sort of fight in these 2 games and they get battered 5 or 6 in both games, I think he's under pressure.
Brother, financially, they can't do it. Financially, it's impossible. They can't do it. But they done to do it to Ten Hag. That outlay was 18 to 20 million. To get him out of his minimum fee must have been around 20 million plus. Financially, they unable to do it with how many hits they've taken in the transfer market. The Anthonys, the Harry Maguires, the bloody Casemiros. There's hits everywhere. Like you're looking at the whole team, the Ananas you can even add into it. Looking at the team, and you're looking at, okay, there's funding needed there. So you can't then, you knew the system before you went for him. You knew it didn't suit where we are now. So you can't divert from what you're doing. That's impossible. It's impossible. It is what it is. The short-term fix is what it is. I know he had a similar sort of issue at Sporting when he first got there in terms of the changing room, and I can't believe that the changing room can still be that toxic for the amount that bloody Ten Hag took away, because it was toxic before. So if you're telling me that the players that Ten Hag brought in are also toxic, then there's massive problems everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, where you going? I think the problem with Amorim is that he's been naive in terms of his team selections, regardless of how he wants to play, and his failure to adapt in game. Like, we all knew looking at it, that the Xerxes, that midfield, blind man could see, Stevie Wonder could see that midfield added with Xerxes wasn't going to work against Newcastle. It was impossible. You cannot play with the high pressing game. This is where I question the in-game management, because you can't expect, even if you're going to play your system, adapt it to what suits for what players you have. You can't have Casemiro and Eriksen high up the pitch pressing. They haven't got the legs to get back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's impossible. So you're playing a 2 of Casemiro and Eriksen against a 3 of Joelinton, bloody Tonali, and Gomeres.
That's one of the best midfield 3s in the league.
So you've just committed suicide off the back.
Yeah.
So he's got to take some ownership for his team selection. So, and the constant my battery's messing. The constant changing of players, the substitutions don't make sense, especially like when it hits the back 3. It's crazy. But
it just feels like he's just giving everybody a chance. I think what he's doing, I think he's got a free hit, and it feels like even the subs, he's like, you know what, I'll just take off 2 centre halves to put in the other 2 centre halves, because nothing changes anyway. So he's maybe just saying, you know what, I'm just going to fling on subs here and there, because nothing changes. Nothing changes for Man United. I personally, I do feel it would be a lot. I think it will be. I don't think it'll be tight, but I think you'd be a lot better, because I think Ugarte will be back. Bruno Fernandes will be back.
Oh yeah.
Kobe Mainoo will be playing. So I think it will be a lot, in a sense of, a lot stronger than the team you had against Newcastle.
With the space we concede and playing against a front 3 of Gakpo, Diaz, and Salah, and how we're playing is absolute suicide.
Yeah, 100%. I was going to come on to Liverpool quickly. I just think that, like you said, but I think even midfielders, we're getting goals from midfield. It's not even a front 3 now. Soboslai's getting goals. Curtis Jones is getting goals. We got goals all over. The subs are coming off the bench and getting goals. Jota's coming on and getting goals. I just think we're in a place that to me, it just feels about, it's all about like the Man City game when we play Man City. It's all about what Liverpool do. To me, Man United are irrelevant in this game for me. It's that if Liverpool are complacent, then it might be a draw. If Liverpool get the job done and go out there and the crowd are not arrogant as well, and the crowd's up for it, we win comfortably. It's just, to me, it's just all about what Liverpool put on the pitch and what they do on the pitch. I don't think Man United have no chance of getting anything.
I think the problem with that, when you mention arrogant, I don't think there's ever an issue of you guys being arrogant against us because of the hatred.
No, you say that, but the game we played last time when we drew 0-0, there was an arrogance in the team and there was an arrogance in the stadium. The stadium was so quiet, they just thought we just had to turn up and win. And if they do the same thing again, it could be another draw. We have to treat it like a proper derby match. It's Man United. We're playing like Manchester United. The crowd's got to be on it like we're playing Man City or an Arsenal. They have to be on it, not being quiet. Just think we are playing a mid-table team, but playing a team that is a direct rival. And that's what Liverpool needs to do.
Amorim needs to turn this round, bro, because if I'm accepting this violation short term, I got to see something in the long term, because this is ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying.
Ten Hag was breaking records, but I didn't know there was even records left to break.
Yeah.
And Amarim's coming, and then I'm seeing these break, especially after the euphoria after the Man City game. I think everyone thought the corner had been turned. And they were going to gain some form of confidence from it. But this team being this team, man, there's just, I don't know what they need.
All right, last bit, Tobias. Predictions. What do you think the score will be?
Listen, I never go against Man United, but on this occasion, bro, like, I think since the Wolves game, I think my acceptance of the Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal games were just, there was all dead bankers. There's all bankers for us to lose in my mind. I've accepted that. You can tell by my voice. I got no bass in my voice.
None whatsoever. I love it.
None. It's just gone. Like left the building. Like here, salty, fuming. Like, you know, like I'm watching the games, bro. Yeah, the emotions. It's just left me, bro. Like, it's crazy. This is what's happened to me, man. But we're here, man. We're here. And if it wasn't for my internet and moving house and that, I would have been here throughout the bad times. So I don't want to hear no noise like I've been hiding from the work.
You're still dodging the question though. You ain't hiding. What's the prediction? You're trying to hide the scoreline though. You haven't said it.
The prediction is we're getting beat like the 2-3, 3 like if 3 love, I can take some solace from it. I cannot see no 7s, bro. If I can't see no 7s, no 5s, 3 will hurt me bad enough, you know. But
my heart's saying 7-0. 7-1, but my head is saying 3-1. But I wouldn't be shocked if we see 7s or 8s. I really believe, like, if Liverpool go for the juggler and get one early,
you know what?
And if, example, you lot crumble or Martinez is a sucker, you just get sent off in the first half.
Oh no!
I can see 8s. I can see 7, 8s.
Listen, yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if it be double figures, but in my head, I'm 3-1 Liverpool.
The thing was, you look at the beating we got from Newcastle. That flattered us, really. First half an hour, and if they continued in that vein, it could have been anything. And witnessing that first half an hour, I was looking in astonishment of what the hell has happened.
It was so bad.
It was so bad. Like, I was like, this is crazy.
I think there was one time, they had the ball, and I think they played about 5 or 6 passes.
When they hit the post,
when it was like a training game, but it was like playing FIFA. And the way they open you up, I'm like, this is embarrassing. No, my head will go. If I was a Man United support, my head would have went.
I was dying, bro. I was dying. And then I think the problem being is, I say problem more for me anyway, is that Liverpool aren't going to take their foot off the gas. If they see a wounded animal, they're going to go for the jugular.
It could be,
and that's what you've done. You lot have been good for and sort of doing for the longest. When you want goals. If you see a wounded, that's what it's about. You want to embarrass people. Salah wants to get goals. So if he smells anything, everyone's just hungry to get goals. So yeah, it's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
all right, guys,
let it be gone. Let it be known.
Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. What do you think the score would be if Man United are going to put up a fight? Tobias, last word from you.
Hammer him in, man.
I hope that guy stays in. I hope he does. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We are out.